Hey guys, so I typed this out and wanted to submit it as a typewritten thing. I look terrible when I try to read off a prompt, so I'm just gonna talk about this and then I'll put down what I've typed as an attachment as well. So I grew up in LA. I'm born and raised here. I was always fascinated with the streetwear culture and the way in which people can wear athleisure and make it fashion and baggy jeans with cropped vintage NBA sweaters and tennis shoes, and that ultimately led me to be a sneakerhead. So I'm here today to talk about the sneakerhead culture and Nike as a brand's impact on the culture of collecting sneakers and being a sneakerhead, as we call them. And so it really is around the limited availability, the athlete association that leads to the fanatics for these tennis shoes all over the world. The reason I wanted to cover off on Nike is because I don't think we could talk about sneakers and sneakerheads without tying Nike to it. And really, if you're thinking all the Jordans and the Kobe shoes, it's when we're talking down to a lime green Kobe Christmas shoe, it's all Nike. It's all associated to a check. And so they are really the leaders in this space for this culture. And it's funny because in this last summer, as I'm sure a lot of people did, I watched The Last Dance, and it was interesting to see that deal with Nike for Jordan almost didn't happen. And I think that is what really ultimately defined the brand and defined the demand for those sneakers. And it's really interesting because Nike's way in which they produce, the number they produce, the distribution, and the way they do re-releases ultimately is what drives this fandom and passion and culture around sneakers. And I really wanted to touch on that today because it's a brand that I've always been fascinated by, and their advertising and their marketing plans. If you take a look at their Instagram, which is something I actually learned through work, because at the NFL, we work with Nike often, and I was trying to do kind of a temp check on their social platforms, and that's when I realized that Nike's brand focuses on the athletes and not the products. And their whole focus on their Instagram feed is Serena Williams, LeBron James, and they really just highlight all of their athletes, and they rely on the athletes and the athletes' brands to sell their products. They really think that the fandom for those athletes is deep enough to drive the consumers for their products. I would say for the last year with the campaigns that they came out with, they've always been progressive. They've always been ahead of the curve, with Kaepernick pieces, and then they did the "for once, don't do it." They also did "if you have a body, you're an athlete." They've really been ahead of it, and they've kind of taken a stronger stance in the time of a pandemic with a lot of issues going on in the world with race and gender and across the board. So I'm excited to kind of see what everybody else has. I'll put the writing down as well, but wanted to talk openly and comfortably about Nike as a brand and why I wanted to talk about that in the sneakerhead culture. So I'm excited to read everybody else's response and watch everybody's videos. I hope you guys are having a beautiful weekend.